Om Shanti. Brother, would you like me to begin or?
Yes, yeah. So then, yeah, we can start the session now. Thank you.
Okay, Om Shanti, everyone. So, are you able to hear me clearly?
Yes, yes,
Ah,
yes. Very well.
okay. So, my real divine family, thank you for asking me to be here today and just to share my few experiences, especially some of the very recent and some maybe a little older. And what Raki sister told me was just share how you faced a lot of adversity from time to time and very challenging situations, and how did you use Baba and how did you use spirituality to handle those situations. So that was the general theme given to me. So I thought I'll just say a few things first and then we can have a healthy discussion after that. So the most recent one, actually on 12th June 2025, as you're aware, there was this big accident of an aircraft, Boeing 787 in Ahmedabad. And the flight just took off, and within 30 seconds, it actually could not sustain itself in the air. And so it crashed, and unfortunately, taking the lives of every pilot, every cabin crew, and all the passengers except one. And it also took the lives of some innocent people who were having food in the adjoining building in the medical college. I was just told to activate the emergency response. And ironically, this time I was not even in the role of an emergency response director. But when I was asked that till everything settles down, actually nobody knows what to do, can you just begin? So I reached the emergency command center, taking it as Baba's direction. There's something that I'm supposed to handle, and let me handle it. And I went to the emergency command center, activated the emergency response exercises, which we do as mock, but this was actual, right? So I knew what to do because I've handled two crashes before, but this time I was not in the seat of emergency response director. And we activated everything, and then everybody collected. And what is important here is in emergency response, you have to be very quick because you have to do everything very, responsibly and very proactively and quickly because lives are, at stake and so much has to be done. Plus, you have to be compassionate. Plus, you have to be following the procedures correctly. Plus, you have to have excellent coordination with so many people. So, the role in emergency response becomes very challenging because you have hundreds of people calling simultaneously. Everybody wants to know the answer, even if they don't want to help, but they just are curious. You know how the human mind is. And at that point, whatever sadhana you're doing for regular practice, whatever remembrance you have of Almighty or if Baba, the energy that you carry, the calmness that you carry, the understanding that a lot needs to be done and there's solid pressure on you, but to stay calm and to yet deliver and yet be strong enough to do what is required without any emotional breakdown. When I reflect, everything comes back from a strong meditation, from a strong remembrance practice, from a strong connection to Baba, and a connection that you're doing your duty and you have to do it correctly, compassionately, peacefully, calmly. And there's going to be so much of trauma around you, and yet you have to handle it in a very sincere, empathetic manner. And when I rushed to Ahmedabad, and the situation there, of course, pretty tense with so much of police and media and, thousands of people all around, plus so many phone calls from loved ones of the passengers who have lost their lives. And, it is too much happening too soon, too fast. And your response is what makes it important. So, whether it was going into the hospitals and trying to do all the coordination because there are lines of, body remains. And as you know, when the soul is not there, we only call it a body. So, body remains, body parts, they're not even intact. And to handle that peacefully and to streamline the processes at the hospitals in coordination with the police and the hospitals, and then go to the accident site where there's only the most, devastating appearance of broken aircraft, body parts lying here and there, baggages strewn all across. And surprisingly, a lot of people also have a lot of fear to go to such places. So we tell them, you please don't go there, we'll go. They believe in a lot of ghosts and spirits and I don't know what all things of more than 200, 230, 240, 250 eventually. People who have left their bodies, the souls are still hanging around. And nobody wants to go there. It's not a pleasant experience. Okay, it's a very traumatic sight. Let's put it that way. But I feel uh, when people were asking me at the end of the day, and we were having regular calls, and how you remaining so calm and so much is going on, I said, this is the time you need to be calm. This is the time you need to be in constant remembrance while you're doing your work. This is the time you need to have all that compassion that you speak about. Because if you cannot do it when the time comes, it's a test. I took it as a divine test later on when I was reflecting. And how they say, of course, it was just a sheer coincidence, but I must share this experience because I've not come with a planned, talk as such. It's just as the words are flowing. Ironically, on the same day, on 12th of June, when I did my meditation in the morning, when the accident had not yet happened, and, I felt that there's some fluid or some liquid thing on my forehead. So I thought, what is this? Is it sweat or what? So I was just going to wipe it and then I got distracted and I had gone to the washroom and I just looked at my face while just going to wash and I noticed, oh, this is so unique that this time it's not like sweat. There's just only one drop of water, and that one drop of water was stuck in the center of my forehead. I said, this is a very strange thing that I should have only one drop of water. I mean, it didn't look normal. So, out of curiosity, I even went into my small balcony and I took a selfie picture to capture that one dot. That how did I get this? Just one dot, and I forgot about it. And this happened on the same morning. And then later, when I went to the accident site, and then I was staying at one of the hotels close by. In the end of the night, which normally I don't watch much TV, I just see highlights, and I'm not much of a TV person anymore. But because there's an accident and we have to monitor the news, and our corporate com team was monitoring. So when I came back, because I just thought, let me quickly scan through the channels before sleeping. And strangely, even on the media, besides, of course, talking about all what's happening, they called some, astrologer kind of a person or something. I don't know. In the middle, he started talking. There were two, three of them, and they were saying, this is the worst period. 2025 is Mars. 2 plus 2 plus 5 is 9. Then they said this June, this period, there's Rahu, there's Mars, and all that talk. And this whole year is going to be like that. And this 1206, because that was the date of the accident, 12th June, 1206. And the moment he said 1206, out of curiosity, it just struck my mind. And I looked at my room number, and my room number was 1206, 12th June. So I said, okay, that's a coincidence, whatever. But the fact remains that the fear that was generated in the minds of the people, not only the ones who had lost their loved ones, not only the airline professionals who obviously a freak accident shakes up everybody and just something nobody ever wants. So the fear that I could see in the eyes of the people and the fear that was being generated on the TV channels for even more accidents to happen. Oh, this will happen, that will happen. There's going to be, this year is like this. And I was, before sleeping, talking to Baba in the night. And I said, is this what we really want, to create fear like this and make everybody so worrisome and so scared? We've learned in our meditation and spirituality, past is past. The accident was most unfortunate, but it happened. And now we cannot have everybody living in fear because there's one accident that's happened. And of course, the divine light did speak to me as usual and said, that is why we every day say, I am a powerful soul. You cannot have fear if you want to live this life with your head held high, with the spirit above fear. So I realized all the spiritual practices that I have been engaged with, they came more in the forefront when there's a crisis. Okay, when there's a big calamity of this nature, whatever you've been doing for the last so many years comes to the forefront. In fact, it is your real test. And while you can't appear to be happy when you've lost so many lives, but you also have to be calm enough to accept that this is God's will. This is the way it was meant to be. And it also teaches you a lot of resilience, teaches you how to cope in such a difficult circumstance and yet do what you need to do. I also observed there were so many people who went into a shell, even though they had so many duty calls. Oh, we are going and, we have to first, we are not able to handle this. And I said, never mind, take your time. We will call you later. I had many years ago initiated through my spiritual guidance only, internal voice speaking, something known as Angels of Air India, which is in 2009 onwards. And I remember my chairman then asking me that, why do you call them angels? I said, this is my big voluntary force. In any crisis, in any calamity, they will be there to do what they need to do, full of empathy and compassion, and to stand there, not run away from action, but be there in the action field, not fearfully sit down on one corner and cry. And on the other hand, not pretend that, it's better not to get involved in action, just stay away, detached. And why get engaged with, this is another fearful thing which some spiritual masters have started encouraging, which is so unfortunate. Stay out of getting engaged with other people's karmic action. Arey, but what about your karma? You are supposed to do the right thing. Please remember what Krishna told Arjun. Please remember how Goddess Durga has done so many. We read the stories, we do the things, but then when it comes to implementation, we just run away. And I realized this is again a sign of weakness, nothing else. They use spirituality to become weak, so that's one thing we need to guard against. Spirituality doesn't tell you about inaction. It always tells you about doing the right action, with the purest intention. And with the purest divine connection of the Almighty, you do the right action. And that action will always be pure because it is with the right intention. And if the intention is to serve, you don't think about, oh, how is this going to engage me, and so let me run away and do some meditation rather than do the action. Hello? The meditation is not separate from you. Meditation is part of you. We have to reach that stage in life where I don't have to really sit in a corner to meditate anymore. Yes, I must do that as a daily practice because that is what gives me the strength and energy, no doubt about that. But we have to reach that point where we can connect our spiritual strength to my daily, every task, that I'm in constant meditation. I'm in constant connection. And every action that I do is like a devotional gift, which I'm actually giving to the Almighty, that you gave me this gift of life, and I give you the gift of being your divine instrument. And I do all my actions in your name for you. So when you reach the point, I tell myself many times, I'm not working for Air India. I'm working for the Almighty. You have to think like that spiritually. When I'm doing my daily meditations on the Universal Prayers channel, and I'm saying, I'm not doing this for the name of the Almighty given in different forms. I see that same one and only in every form. And that is how meditation strengthens you. That even when that person is saying Allah in front of you, you are thinking and praying to the same one person, or the formless one, what we call the same universal consciousness. So spirituality is not supposed to divide us. Spirituality is supposed to unite us. Spirituality is supposed to enhance our spiritual awareness that there is only one. So these little points, they help me in a challenging situation from time to time. And just going back a bit, even when there was COVID, the same situation had arisen. And that is the time in one of my meditations that Baba told me to start this Universal Prayers channel. And I took it as a direction. And I started the Universal Prayers meditation, and I said, a lot of people have different beliefs, and to bring them all together is my mission. That beyond the beliefs, beyond the rituals, beyond the practices which each one may be following, and in their own way, they're happy with that, so that's fair. But please, we are all the same. We don't have to wear different kind of clothes to look different. We don't have to stop doing work in the fear of karmic action against us. In fact, inaction is contributing to your karma equally. And if we cannot link spirituality in our daily task, we will be so fearful. We will be so, what's the right word? It's not coming to my mind. So lack of energy. That's the right word. Full of lack of energy. Because if you're really, really believing in Almighty Baba, and you're really, really in constant remembrance, there will be no fear. Because you already have overcome that fear. You're already in a high zone of acceptance that whatever happens, I'm ready for it. It's like a game of snake and ladder, one day there's a step and you rise up and shine, and then another day there's a snake and you fall, and you have to just laugh it off, being detached to God's play, and do your bit, do your karmic right action, do your pure intention, do it with constant remembrance. And in the meditation, every time you say, I'm a peaceful soul, please add, I'm a powerful soul also. Because sometimes I've seen some highly spiritual people, and with due respect to each one of them, they overdo the peace to the extent that they forget the power. Balance it. You have to be very balanced. You have to be very, otherwise, you would not have come on this earth. You've come on this earth as a test. You have come on the earth to evolve, to grow spiritually. And that power you have to recognize which exists in each one of us. If they show 9 forms of Durga, they show the very peaceful one, which we also are. Our innate soul form is peaceful, loving, pure, kind, compassionate. And we have to also develop the powerful, the one that discriminates between right and wrong, the one that knows, has the wisdom to discriminate, has the wisdom to know when to take action, when not to take action, has the power to rise beyond fear, to face the world, and face it with the same spirit of spiritual equanimity, spiritual resilience, spiritual truth, acceptance. And even when people are not doing things in your favor, the power of forgiveness, the power of letting go, not letting the ego step in. At times it can be challenging, but with little practice, I think it starts happening naturally. Anybody says anything, okay, fine. Sometimes you have to also accept that what they're saying may be true. Because sometimes we don't recognize when somebody else is criticizing us. So you also have to have the wisdom to accept, take the behavior part out, but see what that person is saying. Maybe there's God sending you a message through that person. At least I look at it that way, that even when they are saying something against me, maybe it's God telling me, I think you're ignoring this one aspect. And then I reflect on it, seek my answers, and thank them for showing me the light, for showing me something which I was ignoring. So sometimes even your adverse people are actually a great blessing in disguise. They strengthen you, they make you reflect more, they make you, more spiritually ready because of the way they conduct themselves. And then you thank them and you forgive them. And you let that energy flow back with love. And I think that practice comes when you ensure that you do it regularly. And I have been blessed in a way. Now I say I'm blessed. I've been blessed in a way that I faced a lot of ups and downs. At that point, I did not think that much. But now when I reflect on my life's journey, I think many of us, all of us face some ups and downs always in life. But I definitely feel I've faced a lot in every dimension. And I don't talk about it much, except when asked, simply because that's the past. But the fact remains that I can reflect on it so calmly is Baba's guidance and support. Because I think everything was a great, great blessing. Because that blessing has helped me to jumpstart my spiritual journey. Every time I faced a crisis, every time I passed the test, I made a quantum leap. And I think that is also a blessing. That the Almighty actually gives you the difficult tasks to see how you perform. That you don't run away. You're ready. You're always ready to face action, to be calm, joyful from inside at any given time, no matter what is happening around you. So when people my colleagues and even my superiors and many others would say, how have you remained so calm and peaceful throughout? I would say it's thanks to the Almighty and thanks to the meditation and constant remembrance, nothing else. And they would say, oh, can we also do this? Of course you can. Everybody can. Everyone is a pure soul. Everyone is a divine soul. So I think I will now stop speaking and maybe we can have a nice discussion, a reflection, or some questions or sharing, whatever you may want to say. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti,
Om
Sister.
Shanti, brother.
It was very, inspiring how you really handled a very challenging situation. And yeah, speaking knowledge is different from practically applying it in life. That's completely different because, when we go through a challenging situation, stabilizing the mind is, I think, the real challenge. Because when we are able to stabilize the mind right at the first place, then and in your case, I was thinking you not only have to stabilize yourself, but also the situation and also the people around
Yes.
you, being the point of contact and taking that situation under control. So really, I can see Baba really did so much of wonders through you, and um, that stabilizing that state of mind without any confusion. So because only then we'll have clarity in the intellect, right? So when there is clarity, only then we can take accurate and right decisions, right?
Exactly.
So really, you have done really wonders, no doubt.
Thank you, Baba.
And yeah, and thank you so much for sharing this with us. Really, I mean, not see. It says that some people will have to take big exams because they have to take big jobs. Those who have to take a big job, right? Then they'll have to go through the big exam. Sometimes Baba says this IAS, right?
Yes.
IAS exams. So not everybody will go and take that because only those who qualify, and to get that stage itself is a great deal. And then once you pass, yes, you will also get a highly paid job. So here also, um, big exams sometimes we all will have to take, and how you handle that situation is going to create a great destiny for you. Yeah. Mm.
And also, what happens is at the end of every day, and the volunteers who are working, you're watching their face. I mean, they are being very, very enthusiastic. Some of them so keen to serve. Others who get scared, some who are fearful, some who are, also they're watching the TV. There's too much talk about ghosts and these souls around. Don't go there. Don't go. It's so strange. If you are a powerful soul, even if the ghosts exist, nobody's going to come near you. I mean, why don't you radiate that kind of aura and energy? No ghost is going to come close to people who are strong, right? So I would tell them that. I said, come with me. I'm there with you. And because I think, I don't know, there's too much of this fear setting. And now it's happened, and just set the fear for the future also, that people always live in fear. This is the worst thing that you can do to the spirit of the soul of so many humans who are today on the planet, that you create a fear psychosis.
Yeah.
So that's the But
So yeah. So though the situation was around and you were at the right place, so how did you detach from that scene and you remained? I suppose you were not in the situation, though you were at the situation physically, but mentally you were detached, right? So what
yes.
was
Hmm.
how that happened? I mean,
Yeah, like I said, I think it happened quite naturally and with little bit of focus. Every time I would wake up, of course, I was hardly sleeping, just 2 hours or something, just little bit of rest. But still, when I would woke up, I would first pray quickly and not spend half an hour in meditation, just 1 minute, because I knew that I have work to do. And I would just say, now I'm in constant meditation with you. Please make sure I do everything the way you would like me to do it. I've surrendered to you and full everything is in your name. I would just say that and start doing my work. I would focus on my work. I would be very clear. Anytime, any doubt, 1 second divine connection, get the right answer and just do it. I think you just have to be in constant meditation while you're doing the work. And then you are not at all distracted and you're quite focused and calm, and it is very sad, of course. There is, because there's so many people crying, and every time a new family comes, you're taking them for DNA testing. And I was, motivating those angels of Air India. I said, God has given you this opportunity to serve, because many of them were, I said, take it as a divine opportunity to serve. Everybody doesn't get this opportunity. So take it as this great opportunity that God has given you, and now just let's rise up to the occasion. So we had attached two angels with each family, you know, and to deal with their every help that they required. And of course, they are blaming you only for the crash. And, it's, of course, they're just venting, you know how it is. But to go beyond that and to not get too emotionally sucked into that kind of an environment, and help them in whichever way we can genuinely serve them. So I think that was the whole focus, and to save whomever we could save. Because there were a lot of people who were also outside the aircraft who got injured, right? The ones who were collateral damage. So there were many survivors in that. So fortunately, but the kind of stories they told us, they were themselves in a state of shock more than anything else. I think it's a state of shock as well, because everything happened so suddenly. So not at all expected, you know. So that's the fear and trauma and emotional drain that they have in themselves. And then because they're talking about it, and it's good that they're talking because it has to come out, but then you are listening to all this, right? You're listening continuously, you're absorbing all that. Like in our even in the centers of BKs also, they say na, that don't see negative things, keep yourself pure because you'll stay calm. And here I was saying, hey, I'm facing all the negative things. The challenge is to remain pure and calm when you are seeing all this negativity, feeling the vibration of negativity around you and staying above it, you know and
that's
not one
very
person,
interesting.
thousands of people are around with the same negative vibe. And then to remain positive and to remain calm and to remain connected to the divine is a great challenging moment. And I'm happy that God gave me this opportunity. I'm so grateful to him. I'm very sad that it happened, but I'm happy that now that it happened, that I was there to participate in that. And also from the emotional side, later on, we did all these, meditation camps and healing, trauma, care circles, a lot of the Tata group volunteers. I mean, I was dealing with so many volunteers who themselves were some shaking, some strong, some not so strong. You know how it is. Everybody has their own strengths, which become very visible in this kind of a crisis. Yeah.
Om
Yeah,
Shanti,
true.
sister.
Yes, sister. Yes,
I don't
sir.
know what
Yeah.
do I address
Sorry.
a spiritual lion or a spiritual angel, or I don't know
Correct.
what do I call you, but we are really blessed
Mm.
with the showers of spiritually, divinity, your universality, everything which you really have been endowed with. But before I come into for what you were called today, with your permission, I would like to extend my congratulations to you for the Rashtriya Puraskar Award, which you were endowed, and one more award which you got on Independence Day. I need your permission because it's a very good platform for the club to know such a universal person, even a national person is here before us. You know, in the Karma Yogi Gita, they say the true perfection lies in doing your work sincerely, not for applause, but as an offering to the divine. That's what you have done, Harpreet sister. You have been chosen, whether it was Air India or whether it was any fate, you have been chosen by a authority, and the way you bring about everything, like whether you're speaking about Ganesha or you're speaking about Gabriel or whether you're speaking about Durga or whether you're even speaking about the new moon, you've got a thing of really going in deep into each of these elements or deities and bringing and tying the cords of heart of so many different people together. So I think you were a right person even to go over there in Air India, because you didn't go over there as one faith. You had a kind of universality of faith over there, which really these deities would have come down to help you to see things beyond that. I think that was that. I have heard of, honestly speaking, I have heard the experiences of many more of people like you in Air India, and I've studied. There was a website where I went and saw how each one, like one person who said they saw strings of, arms and legs and so many other intestines and all scattered about, not only in the thing, but more in that doctor's building, a building
Yes.
where which really touched me. So I've seen all this, and I'm really happy to be part of your journey, at least offering sparks. But what I appreciate also in you more than that, because this is also a part of a process which you are trained, but the balance which you bring about in your life, it's not just about Harpreet is there on the university, he prays and she doesn't know. The kind of balance you're bringing to your family or to the world, or showing you are a ordinary spiritual being in spite of all this, smiling away at the end of the day and starting every day again. I think God has rightly chosen you, Harpreet sister, and we are very proud of you. But I want to know that balance, with which we sometimes Baba says behad vairagya, and we take it very, very, seriously to say that cut off. You never cut off from anyone, from anything.
No.
So I liked that's what even that appreciation which I found in you different. I think probably that makes you more real. Like Baba spoke even about the other day. He said there should be reality, there should be royalty, and there should be, you had reality and you have royalty. I think what is helping you is this universality which you bring in others. All these deities are there with you whenever you undertake anything. But the secret of your balance is sometimes it makes me think, what is that which really makes you do it? If suppose you can share, how do you come down to earth and say, well, this is Mr. Harpreet, this is my son, whether it's your son's wedding or whether it's taking care of your daughter-in-law, we find the normal person there. That's, I think, is amazing in you. I hope I have not gone. It's just a piece of my mind which I wanted to share. Congratulations, ma'am. Congratulations, not only for the awards, for the wonderful people like you, angels over there. any disasters, I think those souls, wherever these souls are there, the 12th June souls, I think they should find peace. I hope you really have a special prayer for those souls again. Om Shanti.
Thank you, sister, for all the kind words. But like I said, it was not my doing. When you surrender everything to Baba and you just use their energy, they make you do what you have to do, right? So they make you become fearless, they make you become calm. They just help you to do what you need to do. So I think that's the important piece here. But as far as universality, yes, I have got a very clear message from the Almighty on that. So I'm focused on that journey. That in the name of spirituality, we cannot divide. We have to unite. And therefore, my mission through the Harps channel and when I retire will become more prominent when I have more time is to connect everybody. It is Baba did so brilliantly in connecting so many people from all over the world through the BKs. And so are so many other organizations of following a different faith, doing similar activities in their own way. And they're all doing great. Everybody is doing great. And so I'm just learning from everyone. I've always believed I'm a constant learner because the more you're willing to listen, the more you pick up good things about not only people, but also from situations, from methods of how people connect to the Almighty. And like recently, since you spoke so much about universality, recently, I don't know if you were there in that meditation, we went 450 light years away from another planet. We did the meditation. I think the more you expand in consciousness, the Almighty shows you more. And you realize, अरे यार मैं तो सिर्फ अर्थ के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं हम लोग यहाँ पे. There's so much more. There's so much more. And the more you go into it, the more you realize how much more to know. So you're on this constant journey of learning and evolution, and even the other forms that exist on other planets, on other this thing, they are like all also spiritually inclined in their own way. They do their own things, and so I have hardly any knowledge about them, but the fact that I've seen some things and the fact that I've connected at least at some points with other planets, I know that they exist. I know that they are there. And yet there's no fear because we all are again connected to the one and only. And I think this is what I meant by unification. This unification can only happen when we look beyond. When we look only at the group that we meet every day, which is great till you become powerful. But once you've reached a stage of knowing, now this is what this had to teach me, I've learned it. Now I'm in a mode of only practicing and enhancing. Open your mind. And if you're happy with just that, even that is perfect because maybe that's your journey in this life, right? Just stay there, no problem. But at least have that openness that there is more beyond. I think this is a big realization for me that I'm like a zero point 0.1 in the knowledge stream of spirituality. I have still so much to discover, so much that Almighty has to show me. Because, of course, I'm genuine curiosity-based seeker as well. So I think the Almighty shows if you desire to see. That's also true. Otherwise, He may not be interested in showing you. So I think that's the other part, not linked to this subject. But since you brought it up, I just shared that.
Om Shanti, sister.
Om Shanti.
I'm really glad you could be uh, upfront and share your viewpoints here. And it takes really a lot of courage to express what you have gone through. It's an inspiration for all of us to continue on this journey. Because where there exist hundreds of ways to uh, entertain yourself or be around, and you choose a path of meditation that later turns out to be the only handle that you carry to help people out and later recuperate yourself. I could imagine the scene, what you were saying, and I see that it is so much of reality to face, and it is overwhelming reality. Now, not that anybody would want that to come in their life, but then your story actually shares that viewpoint of embracing that and going through it.
Yes.
I could also connect when you said that the meditation helps you to bring that spare energy. You have some reservoir of it that you're able to implement it on time, and you have to constantly create it also. And there's no much time, but the constant meditation practice helps to have that cycle, fast cycling of that energy, 1 minute connection, and then using it as a karma yogi.
Yes.
Mm.
You're
Women in
absolutely right.
aviation is a big thing, and I'm really glad to see a pilot sitting in front of us to explain the journey, and that is amazing. Sister, I would like you to kindly tell us more about the Angels of Air India. This seems to be a very unique organization
Yes.
within that actually adds on so much of value to the company, while it is very much essential. you know I see the aviation fraternity changing, but it really is very realistic a world to face, and these angels are ones which actually connect the aviation and the spirituality both. Yeah, thank you. Over to you.
Yes. So, like I said, this thought of calling it Angels of Air India was my own idea, and this came again through, I think, a spiritual backing. And when I wanted to create this voluntary force, you can call it like a spiritual army, actually, that is always ready to serve and within the regular working environment. And I remember my chairman that point, he said, "This is a great idea, but who will ever join this?" I said, you leave that to me. There will be a small percentage that will join, but let me at least make that effort. So he said, okay, fine. And he said, and why do you want to call them angels? I said, because here we will not be paying them more money. We are just asking them that if required, anytime, 24 by 7, when required, they are ready to come immediately and to serve in that given situation. So he said, okay, let's see, let's try it out. And I remember I created internal ad for seeking volunteers, and I had written that similarly, like how they say when the Army, Air Force, they say, no, not exactly the same, but I had made my own words. Do you have it in you to serve when the calling comes? Do you have it in you to do more than the job that you have been assigned? Do you have it in you to be an angel to this? So a lot of people got curious. What is this? And they knew that there's no additional monetary benefit, there's no this thing. But over a period of time, slowly and steadily, it became a bigger force. We had almost 1,000 people who had volunteered, and I kept it going for quite some time. And we would have the mock drills. We would always have this angel's word. And I remember when the Tatas took over Air India, they had some name of themselves, which was like some caregivers and all. So I had a humble request to them. I said, you can introduce caregivers, you can do whatever, you can call them whatever you like, but please retain the word of angels because it has been there for many years and people connect to that. And they were very gracious that way. They said, because it's now a new ownership. It's not a government airline, it's a private airline. And but they agreed. And so we still continue with Angels of Air India. So, which is the interesting part that even they connected. That means there's something in that word which ignites a spiritual spark, even in a management person in an organization who thinks that this is something spiritual. So, let me say the yes to it. So, and although I may have had a lot of people in my professional journey who maybe You know how it is in any organization, the jealousy, the envy, or whatever. But in certain things, even the so-called adversaries of mine, they have a lot of respect for what I do, which is itself a spiritual victory. It doesn't matter that they may feel, oh, why did I get this position? They should have got it. That is the world drama. But I know it in their face. And many of them come and tell me also that, okay, I don't agree with this, I should have, but I know there's something about you which is different, and we respect that. Whatever, they've come and told me at time to time, different people. And I think this is the victory that Baba is telling us about. That you, even from your so-called enemies, if I may, is a very strong word. They're not my enemies, but whatever you want to call it, adversaries. If they can also support you in when there's a crisis, they can also support you when there are certain things which are beyond professional work. This is a good example of spirituality, good example of doing yoga and meditation in the office and trying to introduce spiritual aspects into the professional life. For those things, nobody says no. They may come or not come, but they're not against you for that. You understand what I'm saying? So that itself is Baba's game that he's playing. So he's like allowing you to ignite those sparks of enthusiasm towards spirituality. Some may take that journey, some may not. You do your bit, and that's okay. Because it depends who has come for which divine purpose on the earth in this life, right? Some of them have come with a different journey, so they may not be fully inclined in this life. So that's the part of it. So that's just thought I'll share one more thing since we are having this friendly chat.
So
There's yes, Gijaban, you're saying
just
something.
one question,
Yeah,
because I know time will run out.
yeah.
What are you all doing towards these souls as angels? When a crisis comes, all spirituality comes up. But now we know the souls are still, some they say have not taken birth, some are still wandering. For these souls who have left their bodies, as well as for the families who are feeling, is there any concrete service you're doing towards it? Because the body has gone, the life has gone, but this void which has been created first in the family, as well as the souls who have lost all their aim and all, what is the service the organization is doing?
So for the angels, we have a lot of trauma healing, and aviation psychologists are there. For our pilots and cabin crew, we also have a buddy healing. That means there are share groups and care circles, and there's constant action to do something to heal them. I mean, that is the thing. With the family members also, we had some trauma healing and counselors who were involved, but more at a professional level, to be honest. Spiritually, we did a few things, but I think the Tatas think slightly differently. So I didn't interfere too much in that area. I gave my suggestions, and but they did allow us to join. Like many of them joined our meditation groups, including family members. We send them the invites that if you wish, you can join. So to that extent, we are doing. But I think what the formality or the process-driven care is being done through a lot of the other Tata companies and Air India together. And they're doing, they have a very formalized approach on this, to be honest. So it's like a lot of things are happening, but to answer your question, they are being taken care of emotionally, but it's more through counseling, trauma healing, this, that, yoga, and they've added my link also, and they have given some other links for the spiritual part that those who want to interact, they're welcome to go there, like that. But like I did try, can we talk to the Brahma Kumaris? Can we talk to, like I did make that attempt, to be honest. But I think they're not so keen. They view the Brahma Kumaris like another religious institution. They don't want to get religion involved. They are not aware that that actually what has happened over a period of time, any path that you start following, it becomes a religion. So the BKs may have started some way. Now it is treated like a religion because it's treated like, because you have rules, regulations that you follow within the system. Anything that gets rules and regulations, the Hindus follow certain things, Muslims follow certain things, Christians follow certain things, BKs follow certain things. So all of them talk about the one and only and divine consciousness. But the moment the rules, regulations step in, which then it becomes a religion, which Tatas as such, my personal interaction, and I may be wrong, is that they don't want to get engaged with that.
Yes. So I think time is, we want to hear you more from you actually, but yeah, with the interest of time, I think. Harpreet Ben, would you like to take us to a short meditation?
Are you ready for a more fearsome meditation? Okay, let's do a quick one, just
Yeah.
1 or 2 minutes.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, relax, everyone. We use the divine energy of Baba, the one and only light that is now connecting to our souls, the point of light within us. And Baba is directing us to go to Ahmedabad. See your beautiful light rising out of your body and going straight there. And Baba wants us with beautiful spiritual energies to radiate love and peace to all those who lost their lives there. See whatever you see as darkness becoming full of light. And wherever there are souls that are lingering who need support, we pray to Baba to uplift them into his light. The energy of Baba and the healing coming through to everyone, to yourself and to every soul that moved on, to all the families of the people who lost their lives, to give them the strength, the resilience, the acceptance, to raise their spirit in the light of the Almighty. See them all being blessed, healed, and with our spiritual vibrations, we serve them with lots of healing, lots of power, lots of joy and happiness. And with that, we now come back to our own selves. And Baba is smiling at us. All the dadis and didis are smiling from the heavens at a beautiful thing that we did today. Helping the scared and weak souls to receive more love and energy from the divine. And we recharge our own selves, knowing that whatever we do, whatever meditation is doing to us, strengthening our souls, Baba's blessings are always with us. And in our daily tasks, we are able to implement the true energy of Baba with the right energy, right intention, pure action. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Divine Family. Thank you for all the guidance and support in difficult times.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Harbitan. Thank you, Divine Family. We shall connect again tomorrow at 5 a.m. Until then, you all have a wonderful day. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you.